right, guys, it's 11:16. We've got a good amount of people on the session. Thank you for joining the first real-time session. We're super excited that it's the GlideFast session. This is going to be a really impactful session for you guys today. We've got what I consider to be two of the smartest guys in the space, Jared and Ed from GlideFast Consulting. We're going to talk today about their internal reporting needs and how they came to select VividCharts as the solution for those needs. They're going to walk you through what their data and reporting looked like before, how they arrived at the solution, and describe some of the outcomes and strategic benefits that they're enjoying since they've implemented a reporting program for their ServiceNow data. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jared and Ed to get started on the session. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to drop your questions in the Q&A present at the bottom of your screen, and we will answer those at the very end, all right?
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it. As Ashley said, we're going to cover our original process, our challenges and solutions, and then the transformation that we've seen with VividCharts.
Excellent. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're super excited to walk you through our journey with VividCharts and how we elevated our status reporting. So we are a pure play elite ServiceNow partner. We service clients across all industries from healthcare to financial services to telecommunications, and that's globally. We have consultants in Canada, North America, or Canada, United States, and India. And we do everything ServiceNow. Anything you want to do on ServiceNow, we are in it. Between CMDB, discovery, customer service management. If you are doing ServiceNow, we can help you. To kind of laser focus a little bit within our project management team. So our project management team is composed of about 30 or so engagement managers at different levels. We service about 150 clients, and on average, we're sending about 120 status reports a week. So there is significant volume per week that our engagement managers are developing content and distributing reporting as it relates to our implementation and our engagements that we have with our clients. As it stands today, we do have a unique situation with how our tooling is set up within ServiceNow. So across our GlideFast organization, we use ServiceNow for really every aspect of our business. When it comes to managing our client-facing projects, we use the project portfolio management suite within SPM. And within that, we use all of the capabilities such as, scheduling, managing our RIDAC, and then more, specifically for this session, our status reporting. We leverage the out-of-the-box status report, which you'll see here onto the left side of the screen, which is just an export of what our current process looks like. Off the bat, there is some critical information on there that, like timeline, key activities, considerations, and there's a couple other pages that are not shown here, such as your RIDAC. But one of the biggest challenges that we have today is that report. It looks kind of dull. It's hard to really follow how the information is outlined. It's not really visually appealing. And at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're using the ServiceNow PPM status record, inputting all of that content, the engagement managers review it, and essentially we're exporting that to PDF, and that's what it looks like today. And again, we don't provide our clients access to our own ServiceNow instance or even our portal. So the export of this report and the content that is in it is super, super critical to supporting and driving our weekly touch points with our clients. And that's where we really saw a lot of opportunity to really elevate how this looks today and how we're operating it.
The out-of-the-box status report has very limited selection as to what you can do and what you can pull in. Hours, for example, the hours remaining and kind of a burn down is some of the things that we've had to customize within the project status report. And overall, the solution just really wasn't visually appealing at all. It was pretty tough to kind of make something that looks good without going completely custom, and that requires a ton of work to maintain as if you want to tweak one little thing?
So when we started looking at options and really defining what we wanted to get out of our future potential solution, there were three major drivers that Jared, myself, and our project management leaders really wanted to get out of this. So the first was scalability. GlideFast is a growing organization. I mentioned that we're sending on average about 120 status reports a week. In the next 6 months to a year and 2 years plus, we are forecasting, that number to increase significantly. So we needed a solution that was going to be able to support growth and not have to pivot to, a potential, other solution to, support that volume intake, in 6 months, a year, or even year plus. Standardization, within an organization, especially project management, client facing, consistency is always top of mind. And for us, allowing us to create the experience from one client to another, from project manager to one project manager, was really important to us. And we wanted to have a solution where we could create baseline templates and have the ability to really control what that template looked like. Offline templates that we were using previous to ServiceNow and even today, we're challenging to keep that consistency in line, and what it caused was different experiences for different clients. And one client may come to us and say, hey, like, I had this really great status report that I worked with Jared on, and then another client would share something different, and it was just a lot of inconsistency. We really wanted something standardized. And then the third item was around client experience. You saw the screenshot of what our status report looked prior to our solution, and it just was really dull. The way the information was organized, it was hard to follow, and the information may be there, and the critical action items or risks may be highlighted, but as a client and even as myself looking at those reports, it was really hard to focus on, hey, like what are the key items I need to look at? How is that information visualized and organized in a way that I can even take this information and show senior leadership of that client? It's not something I have to transform into another deliverable to show, a client's senior directors or above, or even a CIO. So those were the three big areas.
And it really comes down to the ability to scale, right? And we need to make sure that it can easily be modified without a lot of technical debt, like our previous solution. Our previous solution required a team of actual ServiceNow developers to modify the reports and what's going on. What we wanted in a solution was something that could be done by Ed and his team without needing to go into a development cycle to accomplish it.
Now we look at the transformation. This is my favorite part. So we partnered with VividCharts. We worked with their success team, which is, from the very beginning has been an absolute delight. From the beginning foundational steps of, what are the requirements? We're all in client services, that's just like the basics. Like what are these workshops that we're going to hold? What, as the product owner and representative of that project management team at GlideFast, what do we want? So we worked very closely with the VividChart team to essentially build out standardized templates, and essentially building out a roadmap of, okay, we have 150 plus clients. We want to be cognizant of, feedback that we get from our clients and even our project team. So we decided to do kind of like a 2-part pilot. So the first pilot was essentially up and running within 3 weeks, and that leads to that scalability and that ease of this platform. I was shocked to kind of jump into requirements, and by day 2, we really had a product ready to go. If we weren't, as careful with how we wanted to introduce this to clients and get that feedback, we could have had something within 2 or 3 days, to be honest, which was just amazing in comparison to our previous solution that Jared was just explaining, that had to go through those development cycles, had to be assigned out to a release schedule and properly go through a SDLC process. So within that 3-week period, we had a very, very stable product, and you'll see screenshots here of what that product looks like. We have amazing cover pages. We have this first summary page here that really, again, organizes. It's all the same data that we had in the previous out-of-the-box PPM report. But again, it's organized, it's visualized in a way that really stands out. And as a leader and project managers, product owners, you can look at this data and it makes sense to you. In addition to this rollout, we had train the trainer sessions, and there were countless materials that the VividCharts team provided us, from actual documentation to holding sessions with our team to ensure that we were set up for success. One of the biggest drivers for success is that organizational change management, and that was like top of mind for them. They set us up for success, making sure that our team had everything we needed to then roll out to our larger organization, from, again, documentation to live training, and even go live support, post support. The team was there to help us through any questions that we had, and any type of kind of quirks that come out with any type of go live. But at the end of the day, we created a set of standardized templates using our GlideFast branding, our GlideFast logos, and our branding templates, as you can see on the first page here. And it's amazing. It's really great how it pulls in the data from across many different tables, and really customizing what that report can look like for your clients. So scalability, this has been a big topic throughout the entire presentation here. This was just the most important piece to us, creating that standardized template and being able to manage it at the management level was important, because again, offline templates, we were going back and forth with different project managers and not having that consistency. Now we have a central location where the template is held. If we need to make changes to it, we know where it is. There are a select group of individuals within my team that have the ability to make those changes. And then the interface that goes with those changes. We've talked about this a little bit, throughout the presentation. The ability to make changes without having to go through a formal SDLC process is incredible. Not that I am knocking down SDLC, but in an environment where we want to make changes quickly and efficiently that are client facing, and we require these changes to go live fairly quickly, having to depend on Jared's team and no offense, Jared, having to depend on Jared's team to get updates out, it was not really efficient for us. So making those changes real time within the template and publishing it within a matter of minutes, and then communicating that out to my team, it is amazing. And not having to, again, wait for those release cycles, not have to wait for SDLC. And then the last one is around just, again, efficiency. As an engagement manager, if I have 5 clients and I need to create 5 status reports and then convert those over and get those ready for a client facing meeting and touch point, I can do that within a matter of minutes once the content is all created and reviewed within the status report. And again, that goes back to just the ease of using the VividCharts platform. 3 or 4 clicks, you have a exportable PDF or PowerPoint status report that you can then bring in front of a client that drives that checkpoint. And then another unique piece of the solution, there are always additional items that we typically add, that you can't really include within the ServiceNow record. So once you export to PowerPoint, you can then add your additional slides. So if there was maybe a visual of a process flow that we wanted to add to that status report to just get feedback from the client and include it as part of that presentation, the engagement manager can add another slide, an agenda item, and copy and paste a screenshot right into that same presentation that was exported from VividCharts and included as part of that overall presentation. So there's a lot of flexibility that comes with that export and being able to do that within minutes, and then keeping the same style of the report and having it as a singular presentation. So that was just amazing. That comes to the end of our presentation. I'll open it up for any questions that the team has, or the group has, excuse me.
A couple things I'm curious about, guys. Do you have a sense of how much time you think GlideFast is saving now that your operational reporting is automated? And a guesstimate is fine, or just even personally feeling like you got time back after implementing?
Yeah, so I can speak in terms of the time savings. You know, originally there was a lot of effort going into, I'm going to say, finessing that out of the box report, copying and pasting images, trying to make that report visually appealing, but also presenting the data in a way that it wasn't doing it today. And there was so much effort that went into trying to get that report in a place where myself or even the engagement managers felt that it was ready for a client. And now that's just done automatically. I mean, I'm talking, you know, hours. Like we don't have a fine, you know, figure at this point since we just went live, but we're talking hours. Like the amount of formatting and screenshots and really that massaging of that out of the box report to get it where it needs to be is significant. Jared, I'm not sure if you had anything else to add to that.
Oh, yeah, that's really it. It's the time, and you know, there's also the factor of, you know, the employee experience as a new engagement manager now. You don't have to kind of fumble through either old templates or other stuff to try and figure out what you're supposed to do here. You really are just, you're given this and this tool, and it's standardized now, so it's super easy for those new employees to come in and, you know, hit the ground running as an engagement manager with us because we've given them all the tools.
Yeah, that's a great point. And not having to figure out how to build your reporting from scratch, right? We've got another question here. How have your internal engagement managers and clients responded to the new templates? Did you get some good feedback from them?
Yeah, both on both ends. So our internal engagement managers, you know, when we were announcing the partnership with VividCharts and they started doing, you know, their own research of VividCharts and us providing, you know, little tidbits of what it's going to look like, the excitement was building. You know, they shared the same frustrations and pain that, you know, Jared and I, you know, knew from the out of box report. And once we went live, I mean, it was countless pieces of feedback of like, they're like, it just looks so great. It looks so professional. It looks clean. It just, and plus how the data is pulled in, you know, that was their favorite. It was just like the data's there, but it's visualized in such a better way. And then from a client perspective, you know, one of our larger clients mentioned to us that, you know, historically they were taking that out of the box report that we were previously using and massaging that data and taking it and creating their own report to have a meeting with their senior director. And he was like, you have saved me time where I can take this one report now and share it and have this meeting with my boss. And so we're almost saving some client time as well, but overall feedback was just like, this is so much better than what you were providing before. So
yeah, and that's such a good point. Sorry, Ed, I didn't mean to cut you off there. That's such a good point, though. We talk a lot about, sure, people can format and make things look nice. Yep. But wouldn't you rather have them focused on the work that actually matters, which is driving business outcomes, right? So I love to hear that even a client of yours got to experience some of that, because it's definitely one of the things that we think is the most valuable about having reporting being automated like this. Yep. I've got one more for you guys. You mentioned iterating on the report over time. Do you have things in mind already as far as potential additions or enhancements to the reporting you're doing today?
Yes, we do. So we've started iterating on how we can and visualize our budget data. We have a very complex way of reporting, financials of projects, and we have a really great solution now, but we've already started thinking through like how we can better present that data, how we can better visualize that for our clients. Typically that's some of the most touchy subjects for our clients when it comes to budget, and for them to understand how far budget has been used, and forecasting. And there's a lot of opportunity there for us to present that data, and provide better insights to our clients, to drive, we'll say, more positive conversation.
Yeah. And we also have another thing in the works, they're not implementations. We call them GlideFast remote services. It's a bucket of hours, but clients still want reporting on that. And we plan to leverage VividCharts to provide that reporting without us taking a bunch of time to provide that report, right? They may only use 5 hours a week, so they don't need a huge, robust report, but they still want to know that they've used those hours and kind of the status of their project throughout. So that's another thing that we've got on the lineup.
We've even toyed with potential automation of these reports, and scheduling them automatically, and leveraging both ServiceNow and the VividChart platform to identify a way where there doesn't need to be a human intervention component of that process. It pulls in the data, there's a schedule, and it automatically sends to our clients, and an engagement manager or an analyst doesn't have to go in and kind of put it together. It's all automatic. So those are some items on our roadmap currently.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably a really great question to end the session on. Unless you guys have any parting thoughts, we can kind of jump into these follow-ups, if that makes sense.
Well, I think there was one more question I saw in the chat, actually, for Jared.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You're right. Is Jared's team of developers feeling more freed up to focus in other areas of the business?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't have to focus on the requirements of the EM team anymore.
I'm not bothering Jared anymore about, hey, can we add this field to this report? Can we change this? Something's not right about this.
They're empowered to do some of it themselves. And I think the biggest time savings, although my team is more freed up and is focused on other things now, the time savings that they got as an engagement team from not having to recreate the wheel is huge, and probably bigger than my team time saving.
Great. I've actually got one more while you guys are talking. Did you have to do a lot of retraining about how people enter data as they work into ServiceNow to get good quality reports?
It's a good question.
Right? I'd say.
Yes, a little bit of both. So the two-part answer. So because the back end ServiceNow status report record, all of that was remaining the same. We didn't really have to retrain on where the data went per se. But one aspect that we did have to train and improve quality on was, before in the ServiceNow status report, the fields weren't as restricted, and there wasn't a lot of formatting that occurred as part of that report. So we had to train our team on how to really focus on having, quality, efficient, important status. And it wasn't, a paragraph of, we did all of this in 3 sentences. It had to be more concise, but more targeted. But it honestly triggered our team to have higher quality status. It forced us to be more concise and laser focus on what we need to present to the client, and not just have a blurb paragraph within a record that kind of went off into through 2 or 3 pages. Now we had to really fit content within the template and make sure that, again, it was of high quality, it was concise, and it was targeted to get the point across for our clients.
And also there was again, that standardization. There were some EMs going out and kind of customizing the internal status report themselves.
Yeah.
They're adding images and
Yep.
things that didn't need to be there because they're elsewhere in the report now. They don't need to put that in the executive summary. The executive summary can be high level, like Ed said, succinct, just exactly what this is about, and it's standardized it across the board. So there was a little retraining, but
Yeah.
we didn't change the process. We were still leveraging the out of the box status reports that were there. It just was training towards the content of how to do it and how to do it better.
Yep. Yeah, that behavioral change of, massaging the data and inserting snippets, why it was a little challenging, and having to reinforce to my team that, hey, that you don't have to put a screenshot of the budget detail. The budget detail now is on slide 3, and it's all there for you. You don't have to put that there anymore. So it took a little bit, but the team is very comfortable and it's stable now.
Yeah, I love that. And a point that's adjacent to this is we talk a lot about how it incentivizes good data quality in ServiceNow, because to your point, you're laser focused on the reporting outcome. And we also talk about how reporting should be automated as a reward for having good data quality in ServiceNow. So the reward should not be, okay, I made sure all my records are stated exactly to the standard, how my company wants them to be, but then I have to turn around and swivel chair, enter it into another platform to do reporting. So I think all those things are intertwined. You guys made some really great points. All right, so for everybody who's still on, if you're wondering what's next, obviously GlideFast has a full suite of services available to ServiceNow customers. They're available for any type of assistance with your ServiceNow implementations. So feel free to reach out to them if you're interested in some of those things that they offer. They've got a full menu that can help you with just about anything. If you're interested in VividCharts and the automated options for your data and operational reporting, reach out to us. We're happy to walk through your specific use case and do a personalized demo. We will be sending lots of great follow-up items after the conference is complete, including our live demo hub, which is hosted in ServiceNow, where you'll be able to see actual live reporting examples. But lots of great things to come out kind of in the post-event email, so keep your eye on your inbox. Thank you guys so much. This was a great session. It was really great to hear you all tell the story in your own words.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your day.